It is a question up for debate in many large cities across the country. Is feeding the homeless an act of charity or a crime that raises health and safety concerns?
Now, here in Houston, a group of volunteers dedicated to feeding those dealing with homelessness faced backlash from police officers back in March. Now, here's the video from earlier in the year. The volunteers are from an organization called Food Not Bombs, and for decades they've spent 4 nights a week giving out meals outside the Houston Public Library. Well, they were asked earlier this year to move their operations to a different location because of a city ordinance, and despite that warning, the group still gathered in front of the library to serve food. When officers ordered them to move, they didn't, and that's why they were given tickets.
Yeah, and as of last week, the group had received a total of 45 tickets, each seeking $254. So the first trial for a volunteer was held last week, and that man was found not guilty.
And now 9 more tickets are scheduled for court today and tomorrow. Joining us now to talk more on this conversation is Paul Kubosh, a lawyer. Paul, you're representing some of these volunteers, right?
Yes, I have volunteered to represent them.
Well, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I mean, why was it so important for these volunteers to really stand their ground that night?
Well, it's important for them to stand their ground. Look, they've been doing this feeding here for 12 years, ever since the ordinance had been passed. And what they're doing is they're feeding the needy, and a lot of them are homeless. And what the city wants to do is move them to an area that the homeless and the people who need this food really have a hard time getting to. The city would tell you that 61 Reisner is a really good spot because they can get all these extra services from the city. But the truth of the matter is 61 Reisner is the old city jail. It's cramped. And also the homeless, they don't want to go over to 61 Reisner where the jail is at. And where this group is feeding Food Not Bombs, they're feeding after hours. They're feeding, the library's gated, so they're not really in front of the library. They're basically on a sidewalk for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. And once they're done, you don't even know they were ever there.
All right, so the organization Food Not Bombs says that the city's approved location to feed the homeless is not ideal, right? Since it's close to the police station. Do you know if the city has ever discussed maybe a different location with volunteers directly, Paul?
I do not know if they've ever discussed it, but I can tell you right now, on the city website is permission from former Mayor Anise Parker for Food Not Bombs to feed at 500 McKinney, the very location that they've been feeding for 12 years. They have permission, they've had permission, and now the city, all of a sudden, as of February this year, says that's not really a good place to be. But, you know, we've never had a proclamation or an order handed to us from Mayor Turner revoking that permission that Mayor Parker had actually given them. And what the city has done is they've taken a position that if you go after the Samaritan, then somehow you can manage or control the homeless population. And that's just not the case at all. You shouldn't criminalize the Samaritan. These people should be given proclamations, not tickets.
I mean, obviously it's impressive work they're doing, but back to the city ordinance. I mean, is this something that's new, or it's just sort of been ignored in that sense because of the proclamation from the former mayor? I mean, in other words, the city council now have to get together and say, well, we can decide about changing this ordinance, or would it be maybe a matter of simply, Mayor Turner making his own proclamation and saying, yeah, go ahead, Food Not Bombs, do what you want to do?
I'm sorry, did you say the city council?
Yeah, I mean, do they need to change the city ordinance for this to continue to work?
I'm sorry. The city council does not have the power to do that here in this strong mayoral form of government. It would take an open revote by the city council to have enough votes to put something on the agenda and to vote it out. It's a strong mayoral form of government, and you just can't do it without the mayor.
Now, Paul, we know that one of those volunteers was found not guilty in court. How do you think the other verdicts for the other volunteers will play out?
Well, you know, I tried that case, and I've tried a lot of cases in the city of Houston. And the thing about juries is, you never really know. Unfortunately, innocent people do get convicted. And when we go to trial today and tomorrow, I'm just going to be looking for sympathetic juries. So we just really don't know. But we know we got a very good shot. We have the permission from Mayor Parker, and we'll see if the city can make criminals out of these Samaritans.
Paul Kubosh, thanks for your time, and good luck with you and your group today. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.